Welcome to another video on Alexa and C#, and this time I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code because I'm using C#. This is going to tell you about using APL and C#. This all started because I've got an old Alexa skill which didn't use APL, and I keep on getting nagged by Amazon for it now. So I'm going to go through the whole thing. If you've done any of this before, you can most probably just skip to the right section. So we're going to start using Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to start using with a new Lambda project. So I've just said create new project. I've got this Lambda project here, but it's down all the way down here on these list of things here. It's this one here. So we'll start a new project. I'll give it a name. I'm going to call it using APL, check the location, create a directory and create. Okay, so we want an empty function here and finish, that's okay. So that will create the project. I'll put all these notes and the code in a GitHub utility repo for you. Complete the boxes. If you haven't done this before, you'll need to set up the credentials. I talk about that in another video somewhere. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy some code. So this is the code I'm going to copy, and I'll go through the code, or the relevant bits of the code for you. Just thinking about that while I'm doing that. And if you haven't done this before, there are some other videos of mine that explain all about what we're doing. So let's see how we're doing. Okay, yeah, we've got that up and we've created it. We'll go to the function code, click in the box over here in Solution Explorer. That doesn't show one of these up here. File view or one of those will do it. And I'm going to create and paste all the code. Now, we've immediately got a lot of errors here because we're missing some libraries. So that's the first thing you need to do. Let me just, while I'm thinking of it, we'll save all. Doesn't ask where I'm saving it, okay. Oh yeah, it knows where I'm saving, of course. So, selected the function code, replaced all the code. If we just want a quick look at the code, then I'll just show you what the relevant bits are. We've got some extra libraries up here which we'll need to add, but the relevant code here, this is the where the Alexa comes in here. Here we check for the intent, and these are the standard cancel, stop, help, and I've got an extra intent here which we'll have to add in our developer console. It logs it, and what it does is creates this directory, render document directive, and it's got a token and a document. And the document is a new APL document, and that document's got a layout that's just simply got a container which contains a text and an image. Now the text just says, oh okay, APL in C#, and the image comes from one of my buckets I've got here. You might have to set up the CORS to display that in, if you're using your own file, in the developer console. I've allowed access to this file and allowed CORS access to it as well. So that's basically the bit of the code that we're interested in. So it's quite simple to render document directory, token a document. The document itself is an APL document, and you've got a template that's got a layout with a container, a text, and an image. If you want to go into any more detail about that, I'm not going to cover that here. So we need to add the libraries. Let's just check that's the next thing I say. Yeah, okay. The libraries that come from this GitHub here, and there's the reference to it there. So I'll show you how to add one library, and then I'll stop the video while I add the others. So if you've used a different name, just check that the name you've used is you've changed the name in this highlighted piece of code here. Just change your namespace. Oh, I've still got AWS Lambda anyway, so I will need to change that. So I've called mine using APL. Okay, and we'll save that. Okay, so to add a library, we right click here, we go to manage NuGet properties, and these underline ones are the ones we want. So one of the ones we want is Newtonsoft, and you click install and you say okay, and it will install the package for you. And I'll show you the other packages we need to install, but I'll halt the video in the meantime. Okay, so I've installed all those. The important one really is this alexa.net.apl one. You can see that we've not got any errors in the code now. If I scroll down to here where we're opening the directive, you can see there's no errors there. If you go to over here on your Solution Explorer and you look in packages, you can see these are the packages that I've got installed now. Okay, so that seems to be good. Oh, save all, that's always a good idea. Control S. Save all. Okay, now we need to upload this to the Amazon Lambda service. I don't know what that comment won't work yet is, but we'll see. So we right click here and we choose publish to AWS Lambda. Now this assumes that you've already got all your things set up. So we'll give it a function name. We'll call it using APL. And click next. And we want a role name here, and we'll just use Lambda basic execution. And we don't need to change anything else. We'll click upload. Just check that's what I say in my code here. Right click on your project, publish to AWS Lambda, answer all the questions. Type whatever name you want, but also one word. Basic execution, yep. And if you get any errors here, just check some pointers that I've got there. Okay, so do we get any errors? We don't know yet, we'll wait. Okay, now we can do some tests here. Oh, example request, we can do an Alexa's start session, click the invoke, and we'll see that we get a message back here, pretty print. We get a message that's going to say the output speech is just plain text, it's just going to say launch request. That's not particularly useful. And you can, there is a Lambda test toolkit that you can get nowadays to test everything within this environment, but I don't think it's much more useful than just going into the developer console. So I'll just pause a minute and see what's next. We can see whether we've actually got the function on the AWS site. Now I've already logged in onto the function site on the AWS console. I'll do a reload. Hope it hasn't timed me out. And somewhere down here, this is just generally. That's interesting. Why is the function not there? Oh, try a few more pages on. Try the next page. Tell all my functions here, all my using APL, there it is, right? Okay, so we want this one. And what we need to do is we need to add the trigger for it. It's got no trigger yet. But before we can do that, we'll need to know what the ARN is for it, so we'll copy the ARN. Now we're going to go to our developer console and add our skill for it. So we're going to call the skill. Let's see what we say here. So I've done this bit. I've just gone to the Lambda, copied the ARN. We'll come back to the trigger in a minute. And in the developer, can create a skill, and I'm going to call it C Apple. Okay, so skills kit. Create skill. See Apple, you can see I've been here before. Create the skill. That will take a while. I'll just pause this in the meantime.